What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about Rezolve AI. I want to go over some of the data points, what's really moving it, and one hot topic that I feel like a lot of people don't understand about Rezolve. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure you hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Rezolve is down 2.65%, 652 the low, 709 the high, 18.4 million shares being traded, 26.7 is the average. Nothing coming out from the company itself, so no SEC filings, no press releases. They did post this on social media though, so Rezolve AI is pleased to announce our participation as a sponsor at 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 News 2025 in Toronto, taking place October the 7th to the 8th. And from what I can see right here, it doesn't look like anyone from Rezolve is speaking, so they are going to be just simply a sponsor. Nothing really crazy or anything like that, and maybe this is why Rezolve didn't do any official news about that, because that's something that Rezolve loves to do, and that's put out news time and time again. And in many cases, that's actually what really helped Rezolve move a lot higher. But in my opinion, the reason why Rezolve is lagging today, despite the AI boom that's kind of happening, and a lot of that is because of OpenAI and AMD, so that big news that came out, is because of Rezolve's technicals. So Rezolve, unfortunately, did consolidate a little bit and did break below that super trend, so you have a certain level of suppression coming from algorithmic trading. So that is why Rezolve is kind of moving a little bit lower. At the same time, a lot of people I see on social media saying, hey, like Rezolve is going to go higher because of the next rate cut and whatever else. So I wanted to clarify. So in the past, I have mentioned that, for instance, rate cuts and potentially even future rate cuts could help Rezolve. And that is only because of algorithmic trading, right? Because when, for instance, we get a rate cut, or at least starting to price it in, algos are going to buy any and everything, right? They're not going to exclude certain things. But for face value, Rezolve won't benefit from a American rate cut, because again, I feel like a lot of people assume that Rezolve hits the American market. That's not what was very clearly laid out in previous PRs and also their last earnings. That's why Rezolve is really leaning on Tether. They need institutions and organizations to use Tether as a form of payment. So as time passes, and let's say the Americans adopt more and more cryptocurrency, and for instance, even Tether as a form of payment, that is where Rezolve will benefit. But for right now, technically, the American market and Rezolve is not really overlapping at all, unless you have Tether in the middle. So that's something that I feel like a lot of people do not understand. And even a lot of bigger accounts, I think that is just trying to pump Rezolve, is really trying to portray. So that's something, again, you need to be aware of if you are investing in Rezolve. So if you don't believe in cryptocurrency, then Rezolve, their expansion will not come to fruition. Just to be fully honest out there. So again, if you have to believe in cryptocurrency if you are investing in Rezolve. But in my opinion, Tether is good, but with Bitcoin hitting all-time highs, I think that is a little bit more advantageous. So even based on the Fuzzy Panda report, that short report, it did say that technically Rezolve was like some, I don't know, underground organization kind of trying to funnel Bitcoin or whatever else, but I'm not believing that in my opinion. But generally, I think if Rezolve kind of starts to work Bitcoin into whether they have a treasury or they just start to have Bitcoin as a accepted payment method on some of their platforms, that might be a little bit more advantageous than Tether. And I get it, they have a long-term agreement and partnership with Tether that's been very profitable, I'm sure in some cases, but Bitcoin hitting all-time highs, everyone's paying attention to that. I don't really see a lot of people talking about Tether all that much. So I think it is going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, or a couple of others. That is what is going to be the big deal in the market going forward, not necessarily Tether. So again, I just wanted to kind of address this for a lot of people, and as well at the same time, just bring up that maybe they should transition to Bitcoin. But again, maybe I'm wrong. What do I know? Aside from that, looking at shorts, they are increasing 283,000 shares. 7.89% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 12.28 million shares. Short score 72.5. Short cost per average is 30.92. Still, a lot of people believe that Rezolve is a squeeze play. First thing, they did hit and increase about 2.7 million shares. So that's what added this right here. So this push lower was because of shorts. Moving over to options, 3 million in calls, 383,000 in puts. 45% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. Bulls are anticipating for it to be above 7 to 750. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 650, which is kind of where we are at right now. So we are currently at 654. Aside from that, these are some of the transactions occurring on the secondary market. So you're not really seeing that much institutional presence. So some buying, some selling. So again, evenly divided. These are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool. So dark pool is often enough used by shorts as well as hedge funds. So you're not seeing that much in transactions either coming from them. Aside from that, with 654, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So today, 636 is going to be that key support. You really want to watch for Rezolve to hold. If not, you're going to see quite a significant consolidation. 746 is going to be the next strong target / resistance point. Aside from all that though, on the actual chart, it still is above that 10-day moving average. So it shows that momentum is there, but from the flow, you can see algos are kind of the dominant force today. And even looking at the market position for today, you see a lot more willing sellers than Friday. So again, not necessarily the best. It does signal that, for instance, there's some level of consolidation that wants to happen, but Rezolve is kind of a smoking gun, right? They tend to just put out news randomly, no rhyme or reason, and that causes a nice push higher. So even though it is consolidating today, I don't really see them down and out. Of course, all it takes is just one good PR and things will go flying, whether that's them adopting Bitcoin and integrating that more in their platform or not. Aside from that though, nothing really new for articles, analyst ratings or anything like that. And same goes for articles, not really much being talked about for Rezolve. So still, despite their pretty good optimistic earnings, them raising guidance and giving pretty good 2026 guidance, analysts and just the main actual institutions out there still not really looking at Rezolve as much as I would have anticipated. So let me know your thoughts on Rezolve. Are you buying? Are you selling? What's your kind of general thoughts on Rezolve? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.